Okay, council agenda, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, regular Township Council meeting of June 25th, 2024. Introduction, posting of notice. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the municipal building on January 4th, 2024, where it has remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared in the Daily Record and the Newark Star Ledger on January 8th, 2024. May I ask everyone to please stand for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. Ms. Hernandez has an excused absence. Mr. McGrath also has an excused absence. Mr. Musella? Present. Mr. Neglia? Here. Mr. Karifi? Here. Also in attendance are Business Administrator Jamie Cryan, Township Attorney Wade Baldwin, our Mayor James Barbario, and the Municipal Clerk Colette Madden. We have a quorum. Council President, may I begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. Upcoming meetings, July 9th, 2024 at 7 p.m. is an agenda meeting, and July 23rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. is a regular meeting. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and announce Chief Richard Pantina, who's going to be doing the ceremony for the swearing in of the police officers.
Good evening, everybody. As Colette just stated, I'm Chief Pantina. I want to welcome everyone here tonight. We're doing something a little different with this cycle of hiring. Normally we do it in the daytime, usually around lunchtime, so everybody can go to lunch, but I think this is a fantastic idea to have a swearing in at night at a council meeting. My old lieutenant's here, not old lieutenant, my lieutenant is here, right? So he knows the way this system used to work. It was in and out. I think this is fantastic that the public gets to see the officers that are going to be working for the township. Before I get started, I want to thank the mayor and the council for their continued support. Since Mayor Barbario came back, we've hired now, this will be 24 officers, which was greatly needed. We were very low in our manpower, and it showed. We're down into the low 80s. So now we're back up to 100. We're hopefully get a little higher, and that will increase the services that are given to the community. These four gentlemen here today, we went through a long process. There were many more people that we interviewed, and these were the candidates that we picked. The cycle's a little different now. We used to go through civil service. Now we have the opportunity to pick homegrown for some of them, officers, which I think really helps when you have that passion for your community. So I want to wish them the best of luck. It's going to be a fulfilling career and rewarding. And you'll have a community that I know for the last 35 years that I've been here supports you in everything you do. So without further ado, Mayor Barbario.
It's pretty weak. This is not working that great. But anyway, thank you, Chief. Like the Chief said, when I left in 2017 as the mayor, we're up to 106 police officers. When I came back in 2022, we were down to 81 deployable, and that's not where we should be. As you can see, and you will see, as time goes on, by replenishing the police department, we can do a lot more public safety, traffic, detective work, and we've done that. We've accomplished many things. I'm very proud of the fact that we've been able to hire, when civil service changed the rules, homegrown kids that grew up here. A lot of people try to smack me on it by saying all he does is hire his friends. No, I don't hire friends. I hire people that are qualified. That's what I do. And that's what we do. We have the best police department in the county, and I can vouch for that. Our crime statistics, you'll see, our crime has gone down in Parsippany. Why is that? Because there's more police officers in town. It's that simple. So that being said, I'm looking forward to swearing in these four individuals, but I want to take this opportunity to thank the three council members that voted on the budget so we could do this. Council Vice President Paul Karifi, President Paul Karifi, Council Vice President Frank Neglia, and Councilman Matt McGrath. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't be able to do this today. So I want to thank them, and I'm looking forward to working with you, gentlemen. I've known most of you since you're kids. So, you ready? Good. Who's first? Keegan.
Keegan, you have somebody who's going to hold the bond, please?
Family.
Yeah, somebody, family member?
We'll do it in the front.
You didn't think you'd have to get up.
Sorry.
What do you want me to hold this?
Once we get done swearing everybody in, we're gonna have to go over here and sign everything. That's not official. Hey, you come over here. Dan, you come over here, Keegan. All right. Turn around, we gotta look at me. Put your
Left hand on the
left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
and to the governments established
to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
police officer
police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Keegan.
Thank you, sir.
I might mess your last name up, but David Blow? Thank you. I'll get used to it over time. So we have something that will hold the Bible for you? Oh, you go, wow, that was quick. All right. Place the left hand. Yeah. Is that good? Repeat after me. I
I,
state your name.
David Grisabella,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments
and to the governments
established
established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office
of the office
of police officer
of police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, David. Now, I'll say one thing. David, you came very highly recommended from a dear friend of mine, who's probably one of the greatest baseball players to come out of Parsippany, Matt Rizzullo. So, I'm not kidding you, Matt. Go sit now. I'm not kidding you. Cheyenne Patel? You don't. Okay, you good? Okay. Repeat after me. I
I,
state your name.
John Patel,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority
under the authority
of the people.
of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
police officers
police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Cheyenne, congratulations. Now, I've known this kid since he's a little baby. You've grown up a lot. Congratulations. I didn't know this kid was a baby, but here he comes. Peter Jones. Pops, all right? Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I
I,
state your name.
Peter Jones,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will be a true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established
to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
police officer
police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Peter. All right, we're going to sign it to make it official. And your first tour of duty is Fifth Avenue in Patterson. Please. Yes. Gentlemen?
Hammer.
Here's where you gotta sign. You gotta sign here, you gotta sign second. Take the original. You sign here, here, sign over here, and you take the original. Cheyenne? Sign here. Another page. Welcome our new police officers.
Yeah. We're just gonna take a couple minutes to take some pictures, so family members, if you wanna come up and
Yep.
get some pictures, go ahead. Any family members, if you wanna come up, you can come up and take some pictures.
Anyone wants to get up, please?
Well, if any family members want to come up too. I guess you don't want to, okay.
Well, I think what we could do, Mayor, is take a picture with the family member.
Yeah.
Each family, yeah.
Individually. Yeah. We just like him. Just like him, I mean.
Do you want to get each officer with you with their family member?
No, just let the
Yes.
family members do it.
Okay. Well, then each family member,
So you guys want to get some pictures of you? Take turns. Yeah.
all right, you three to the side.
Hey, Cheyenne, you go
Family
first.
members.
Congratulations.
Do you guys want to get in and take a picture?
Yes, I'll take it. Go with the family. never saw you in a suit, Drew.
Only 20.
Peter Jones, family of Peter Jones.
Camera, you want me to take a picture of yours? Thank you, Council President. You must have a front of the camera, you look like George Clooney.
Hey, Jones, is there the same phone number? Send me a picture. You figured you'd want that?
Everybody,
Cool shirt.
Let me get one, please. Perfect, thank you.
David, you done?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Once again, congratulations.
Council President, maybe we give about a 2-minute break, allow the families and the officers to clear out. I don't think they want to stick around for the meeting.
Unless you guys want to hang out for our meeting. You guys can-
Yeah, you're more than welcome, but I don't think.
That's the fastest way to clear a room. Do you want to stay for a council meeting?
I see your son, I just try to get his attention, but since he started, that's all. I don't know if he saw it, why, he probably, yeah. How you doing? Good.
Take care, have a good evening.
All right, yes. I just saw your dad, I said, I didn't, I tried to look at you back there. Oh, the coach, oh, yeah. Good to see you, all right? Yeah. I'll see you around. I heard you're doing good. Good. Nice.
We had some kids, you know?
All right, November be the county 36 years. Good seeing you. You too, bud.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Great. Good.
All right, have a good one. Congratulations, guys. Thank you. Yes. All right, we ready to begin, Council President? Frank, it's all right.
So he said 10-minute break. 2-minute break. Oh, I counted wrong.
Okay. So now we're going to be continuing with the agenda in the normal course of action. We are on the public session. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to open the public session.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Okay, so the floor is open to the public. You can speak on any matter. You have 5 minutes to speak. After you're done speaking, we ask that you please take a seat. At that time, the council may or may not address the issues and/or concerns. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Is this on?
Yeah, it's on.
It's on? Okay. I really wish I didn't have to come here again
Could you
tonight.
please state your name?
Oh, Kim Anderson. I'm a resident of Mount Tabor. I live at...
You don't have to say your address, just your
Okay.
name.
All right. Yeah, anyway, the reason I'm here is the water utility has begun replacing our water line. And rather than run it up the public street, they are using an easement that goes up a hill, through the woods, through our backyard, and that will undoubtedly damage a 90-foot oak in our backyard. I emailed a letter to the mayor, everyone on the council, as well as one of the town engineers, Paul Niehoff, and the water utility superintendent. Our street, as you probably know, because I was here about our street collapsing, it's been about a year. The repair is ongoing. There's been a lot of delays. It will get fixed. It's just taking time. But the water line really should go up a public street. And now is the most opportune time to do so when the street is going to be ripped up and repaired. Recently, New Jersey Natural Gas moved the gas line with no problem, and I think the town utility should be able to do the same with the water line. Putting it through an easement just seems like in the future it will muddy the waters as to who is responsible for that line. And the fact that it goes through the woods where, it's a heavily wooded area, I think it's not the best place for a water line. Tree roots can interfere with it. They have to excavate through rocks and tree branches. And we were told at a public meeting by the water utility superintendent at that time that a water line would run up our street. And we were at a meeting in July. The mayor informed us that a line would go up the street and it was going out to bid. I called the Mayor's Action Center to alert them to this. Didn't get a call back, but, you know, people are very busy.
What time did you call today? It was today you called, right?
No, I
got the
called
email
last
today, yeah.
Tuesday. It was last Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, so anyway, I would just really like to put this to bed, you know, for good. When you repair something or make improvements, they shouldn't create new problems or continue, you know, the mess that is Mount Tabor water and utility lines. We want to do things that make sense. You know, and it's been a year since our road collapsed, and it just makes sense to put it up the road while the road is under construction. So I think that's all I have to say. If anyone has any questions.
So tomorrow, I'm having a meeting with the superintendent of the water utility. I remember the meeting.
Mayor, before you begin, if I could just ask you to take a seat.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
With the water superintendent. I was in that meeting when, they said the lines would be going on public access roads, not, so we're gonna rectify it.
Great.
Good evening.
It's a letter that we write.
If you'd like, you could just give that to me. You can go ahead, sir.
Good evening. Vijay Panchamya from Glenmont Commons. I've been here many times before. We are here, we are a constant feature every month here at least once. But before I start, I want to congratulate our 4 new police officers. That's a great news. And I think this is a great town to doing policing in, and I'm sure they'll have a great time. Coming back to our issue, as you all know, with the roads issue, this is about 25-year-old development. You all probably have seen the condition of the road. I understand there are challenges with ownership between builder and town and HOA. The bottom line is there are about 175 single-family homeowners who are paying full taxes all these years, and their roads are not getting repaired. There are places where on section of Season Glen Drive that meets Summerhill Drive, it's terrible, and some of you have seen it. And if you drive again, you will see it. It's back to square one. And again, we are coming here almost for 9 months, right? And I really don't think things are moving at all in any positive way, right? I know town wants to meet with builder, and builder is non-responsive. At the end of it, you know, every quarter goes, we keep on paying taxes, and our roads are getting worse and worse. And after every big storm, lot of rains, it's even making it worse. People are complaining about, you know, vehicle problems now, right? I myself had it. There are kids who are having injuries driving their bikes on that road. There are elders who are walking on, because there is no walking pathways in Glenmont. You know, senior citizens are walking and cars are trying to avoid the potholes, and it's only a matter of time because somebody gets into a serious accident, right? So we want to see what is the path forward, right? We can't just be in this limbo state month after month, right? And again, you know, we don't want 400 residents to be cornered where, you know, we have no means then to, you know, go legal route. We don't want to pursue that. And also we are looking, you know, if we're not going to get this service, you will have 400 tax appeals going next year to get some rebates back for the taxes we have paid and services we have not received, right? So I'm really looking for some good updates here. I don't know, Mayor, if you have any updates for us, or...
Thank you, sir.
I can respond. I spoke with BJ today with regards to what's going on. And Wade, you might want to chirp in on this. I know Mike's not here. We sent a letter to the developer to get back with, to us in 10 days what they're going to do with Glenmont Common Roads. And we never heard anything back. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So then I don't think there's any other, so I'm asking this council tonight, other option than to sue the developer. Because, you know, the roads are not township roads, but they are, like BJ said, they're in very bad shape. So I think we need to, initiate some sort of a lawsuit against the developer, for never updating the roads, ever. So I'd like to get your vote of confidence on that.
Vijay, could I please also have you just sign in? Thank you, sir.
So if the council is in favor, I'm going to move forward. So council members,
Could we
Need a
get,
motion?
I don't know if I need a motion, I'm not that.
Do we need a motion? or-
Well, that's, generally, he's just asking for your support. That's
Yeah.
generally a decision that's done by
Right,
the
it doesn't-
administration. They technically don't need council support on this.
If you're asking me, I definitely support it. I mean, these people have been going through this long enough. I mean, these roads, I've been up there many times, they're horrible. It's not fair to them that they need to live in those conditions and have to drive on that just to get home or leave their homes every day. So, something's gotta be done, so.
We just lost ourselves, we're being, we're constantly being
I fully
ignored.
support it too. I mean, if the developer had built the roads the right way to begin with, they wouldn't be in such atrocious shape. So, I think he's responsible, whoever it is, and, they need to be repaired. And the developer, in my opinion, is also responsible. So I support you 100%, Mayor, and the administration.
So I think that, since there have been conversations in the past, before we just go down a legal path of suing a developer, if they're at fault, then, absolutely, but that might not only delay what these residents want, which is a resolution. I don't know how long and how costly a lawsuit like this would be. Can we get some legal
I mean,
advice?
yeah, litigation's always a lengthy process, although, and again, I'm not Mike Lavery, but I did talk to him, and I know this has been ongoing for a long time.
A long time.
And, our office sent a letter at the beginning of the month, if not the end of last month, giving them 10 days to respond, to work out some sort of situation, deal with the, developer, and, our office didn't receive any response.
It's obvious the developer's ignoring it, and I think, some legal action needs to take place. These folks, it's just not fair to them. It's just not right. And we can continually talk about this for the next 6 years, about, negotiating with the developer, but if they don't call us back, they don't get back to us, they don't deal with us in good faith, I think we have no other recourse but to go after them. It's not fair to the people that live in the town.
We're not getting anywhere as it is right now, so if it's gonna take however long it's gonna take, but it's going to get something done.
And I like to just, segue off of that. We've given them more than enough time to get back to us. We constantly get ignored. This has been going on for years. It was going on when I was mayor the first time around. It was going on with the mayor for the 4 years that I wasn't mayor. I don't know how much more time you want to give them, because they're just basically telling them we're not going to do nothing because we haven't taken charge, and now it's time to take charge. As Council President Karifi said, those roads are in bad shape.
Horrible shape.
And for us to sit here and wait for a developer to get back to us when their bond company went bankrupt, and we have to sit here and wait, I don't think we can wait any longer. So, I'm gonna move forward with it. I think we have no choice. I think maybe in the meantime, when you move forward, you can have some sort of settlement, because that's what happens when you move forward with a legal suit. There's consents and stuff like that. It could be consent order, it could be something that we can all agree on. But if we do nothing, you'll be coming for another 9 months.
And that's not right.
Like the mayor said, if there's some agreement that can be reached while the suit is initiated, then great. But if not, we need to do something right now.
So, Wade, when you see Mike tomorrow, tell him to start.
I will.
Okay, any other member from the public?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, committee. My name is Jim Grushak. I live in Lake Hiawatha. I'm here because I have a flooding issue, which you responded to back in January for me, saying you was going to look into funding. I've written...
Sir, can you talk a little closer to the mic?
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
My first time.
That's okay.
I've written the town several times. I have not gotten any response back. In 1986, the Army Corps finished building a retaining wall for Lake Hiawatha. Since then, there's been climate changes, several flooding issues going on. Passaic County and Bergen County both received 6.2 federal funding for their flooding issue. I'd like to know at this point of the game, because I'm getting flooded at least 4 or 5 times a year. The Rockaway River floods over, we need a retaining wall. The retaining wall should have been built or finished built. I'd like to know what can be done.
So, before you start, just, sir, if I can just have you sign in and take a seat, and then, your questions will be answered.
Council President?
Yes.
If I may?
Yes, go ahead.
So, the Army Corps of Engineers does a cost-benefit analysis on things, on flood mitigation projects. So what they would do is they would come back and do a study. And to get them to come back and do a study to add a retaining wall or continue the retaining wall, they would have to do a cost-benefit analysis of how many people it would affect. And this is according to our engineer, and I'm not an engineer. So I think if you have a direct conversation with our engineer, he can explain it to you better. But basically, they would do a cost-benefit analysis to see how many people would be helped by extending the wall, if they could extend it. So that's if it's just your home, or if it's not just your home. So just a retaining wall would help about how many people you think?
5, 6.
Yeah, see, that's probably not enough for them to come out and spend millions of dollars to do the wall. What they do, and like what you said, Bergen and Passaic got 6.2, I believe, million, right, for flood mitigation projects. A lot of those have to do with either buyouts of homes in areas that are flooding. And that's kind of what is happening more often now.
5 or 6 houses that get flooded, but there must be about 10.
Okay, we can't have it back and forth, I apologize for that, but, so I just need the, at this point, yeah.
There's that. There's also elevation grants, something to consider. I can give you my card, and you can reach out to me tomorrow if you don't mind. And I'll put you in touch, Emery, thank you. And I'll put you in touch with our engineer, and maybe we could try to have a meeting to see if there's anything that, any federal programs out there, like Bergen and Passaic counties received, that you may be eligible for.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I toured this issue myself on River Drive where this resident and the others live. And that was my suggestion, is to see if there are any grants, even small ones, that might provide some relief to the people there on Rockaway River.
You mentioned the retaining wall starting to be built. Was that retaining wall started and then it was stopped? I don't understand
Well,
what that is.
That's what
That was 19, like Jim said, 19, actually started in 84, I think, but the completion of the wall was 1986. So, in the past, what happened in that area, and I think it might have been your neighbor, I'm not quite sure, was 200 River Road. It had constant flooding, and at that time, the Army Corps engineer, the cost would outweigh the township, so we purchased the house. And we took it down, and because there was no way, it would cost us a lot less to purchase the house than it would to build the wall at that time. Now, it might be different now, because I know exactly where you live, sir. I know the area well. And, there is flooding in that area, there's no doubt about it, but I think what we need to do, like Jamie said, is just have him meet with our township engineer. I don't know if they ever offered to purchase your house or not. I think they might have in the past. I could be wrong.
Well, if they did, Mayor, sorry to interrupt. If they did, it's the Blue Acres programs.
Yeah.
If they, and they are, the state and the DEP and the federal government, FEMA, they're moving towards doing that more actively. And the Blue Acres programs are now much better than they used to be. It used to be you would get the value of the home after the flooding damage. Now you get market value. So it's a much better course of action if that's something you're considering. But the county also has a lot of information on these programs too.
And that's exactly what we did in 2011. Like the administrator said, what happened was the flood in Lake Hiawatha, the 500-year storm. I think there was 82 homes that, were substantially damaged, and when they become substantially damaged, it's the market value prior to the storm. And we got a grant at that time for $7.2 million from the federal government. But when we got that grant, that we had to buy the houses out, or the residents would not receive any dollars whatsoever, or we wouldn't receive it either. So once something's substantially damaged, and that's how the Army Corps, that's how these flood mitigation things get settled that way. So I don't know if you got flooded out in 2011, because that was a bad flood over there. So I remember it well.
Okay, any other resident?
Good evening. I'm Divakar. I live in Glenmont. First of all, I'll thank the council members and mayor for taking a big action against the plan to take a big action against the developer for the roads. I really appreciate that and look forward for a resolution on that. My main concern here, what brought me to it, I was here earlier. I'm going to talk about the vacant land in the Seasons Glen Drive, which was supposed to be a park. But let me make it clear, I'm not talking about or asking anything about the park here, right? In the last meeting, few months back when I was here, I raised the concern about that property not being maintained at all, right? And it still remains the same. Now,
Can you speak closer to the mic, sir?
Oh, is it better now? Yeah. All right. So now it's still not being maintained at all. Now we have at least like 3 to 4 foot of grass, and we have wildlife. And I myself sighted bear on that very same place a few years ago. And kids' school bus stop is right there. And my friends and neighbors were writing to Mayor's Action Center, you know about it, and we are getting conflicting information about who owns the property, right? So my first question is can we get clarified on who owns the property? And if it's the builder who's owning the property, why there is no action being taken against the person who's not maintaining the property, and what is that the township can do to get that maintained for our safety?
Okay, if we could just ask you to take a seat, sir, after you sign in, thank you. Mayor, if you'd like to respond.
Yeah, the property doesn't belong to the township. It belongs to the same developer with regard to that. And from what I understand, the developer was contacted by, I think, the zoning official, and I don't think they're going to cut it. That's what I was getting. But I will find out more and I'll get a hold of, I guess if I have one contact, DJ, probably be easier if I call you with regards to what they want to do. Now, the property, in 2017, they were going to give the property to the township. Okay, so then the new mayor came in, and you have to do this. You have no choice. You have to do an environmental phase 1 study. And they did not want that to happen, so the township could not take that property. We can't take property that doesn't have environmental studies. So that's what happened there. So we don't own it. It's owned by the developer.
Okay, any other member of the public?
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor. Pradeep Kuchandani, Glenmont Commons. Just trying to follow up on the positive message the mayor gave and the council approved of the mayor's stance. Just trying to understand, what is the timing do you expect to kind of file a legal action? The only reason I ask is that, don't want to be asking the follow-up question 1 month down the road when you said it's going to take us 2 to 3 months, right? But that's my only question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it should be imminent. I'd have to talk to Michael Avery on the specifics of it, but I think we anticipated this coming, so it shouldn't take long.
And Council President, just a point of clarification, Mike is sick, but he is working, so he should be able to be working on this week.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure Wade will talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hello, Mayor, and all the council members. Again, I'm from Glenmont community. With respect to the same question, thanks that you're going to sue the developers. That's a good initiative. you said it will not take too long, but we would like to have a due date, maybe whether it could get done by end of June month or by June 15th or July 15th or some day, so that we know that's a due date. Within that due date, the SU documents, everything has gone to the developer. So we know that from that day onwards, we can count that, okay, when we would get the response back.
Yeah, I think we should get a complaint out within the next 2 weeks at a minimum.
Okay, so by July 15th, it will.
Yeah.
Okay, I
probably.
just don't want to back and forth, if you can just answer
Yeah.
the question, so,
Yeah.
so he said in 2 weeks. If there's anything else you want to say, I just wait don't answer until he's
Do
finished.
you have
please.
any other questions, sir?
Yeah, I have one more question. So, once the SU documents have, is it a public document where we get to see it? And third point is, again, I live in a single-family home. We have no relationship with the developer. So any sort of public's support or any documents we need to sign as a residents who are paying the tax, and we have to do anything against the developer, we are open. We are almost 175 houses. And average Parsippany or mean property tax, what people are paying, it's almost 5,000 to 6,000, and we are paying almost more than $15,000. So we need some actions on it. And just from the township attorney perspective, so last time for the meeting, it took 9 months. The place where we work, we all work. If we are not doing anything with respect to our work, we get laid off. We are not taking action right away. They take it. So we need some proper, quick action on this. At least by next year, we need a response from the developer, or they should pay for the compensation, or the road should be done. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you, sir. Wait, if you'd like to answer that.
Yeah, and as it relates to the documents being public record, anything filed with the courts are public record, so you can have access to those.
Any other member?
Good evening. My name's Mark Philhauer. I live at 590 Vale Road, catty corner from the old high school. My wife and I'm here to correct what might be a misunderstanding. If not, then that's great. My wife and I went to the mayor's roundtable. We were expecting or hoping for a really wide-ranging discussion of pros and cons of pilots. We came away disappointed that there was very little opportunity for questions. When we got home, we decided to write a letter expressing our disappointment. We sent that letter to 2 local websites, and then we heard through the grapevine, and here I'm hoping that's not the case, but that there's a suspicion that we had not written the letter, that we had just attached our names to a letter that somebody told us would be written for us. So I'm here to say that Gay and I wrote every letter of that letter. That's my wife. No one who knows either of us would question our authorship. Reciting our credentials would not be necessary. But there may be some who doubt. So here goes. My wife taught English literature and writing as a grad student for 2 years at Montclair State, another 5 years as an instructor at the College of Staten Island while she worked on her doctorate. She had an article published in a professional journal, presented her work at a meeting of the Modern Literary Association. Following her academic career, Gay turned her talents to medical writing and editing. Her work has been presented at medical conferences and published online on websites such as WebMD. During my 34 years of teaching and coaching at Montville Township High School, I wrote many letters of recommendation to colleges and for scholarships. I took my responsibility seriously and worked at writing letters that expressed the strengths of each individual student. As head coach for cross country and track for many years, I had to present the most valuable and most improved awards to my top athletes before an audience of several hundred parents and athletes. Though there was no one to ghostwrite my speeches, they were always well received. If someone doubts that we were the authors of the letter that we put our names to, they should have come to our house and talked with us. That they didn't is a shame, literally. Mark Philhauer and Gay Boyle, thank you for your attention.
Council President, may I please respond?
Yes, go ahead.
First, Mr. Philhauer, you were outside protesting, if I'm correct.
Actually, I'm sorry, I apologize, Mr. Phil Howard.
Sir, there's no back.
Before you start, we just make sure that Mr. Phil Howard takes a
Alright.
seat, and then I will ask you to respond, Mayor. Just need you to take a seat, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so now, like I said, Mr. Philhauer, I saw it with my own eyes, maybe you weren't protesting, but you're actually protesting. So, one question I would ask you, and I can talk to you offline, if you handed something like this out, because I know the councilman did, a great Parsippany, a great place to work, play, and bribe public officials. So if you handed that out, I don't know if you did or didn't, I would like to know. Now, if you did write the letter to the editor, that's fine. But also there was comments made with regards to the fact that the mayor's against affordable housing. And you tried to make me look like a goat, and I'm against affordable housing. And you had every opportunity in that meeting to come up and say something and speak at the round table, but you didn't do that. So you wrote a letter to the editor, instead of coming up, we would have taken your question. That's number one. Number two, I'm against high-density housing. There's a difference between affordable housing and high-density. And that's what's being shoved down our throat. I'm an affordable housing administrator. I got certified with Rutgers University. I understand we need affordable housing. But what's going to be rammed down Parsippany's throat, and that was the whole idea of that meeting, was to have mayors that are going through the same thing that I'm going through. And you know, those mayors contacted me. They wanted us to do something together, and we're doing more. I can't tell how many mayors in Bergen County that loved what we did. We let the public know, instead of all the misinformation you were getting, you got the right information. And there were some mayors up there that actually wouldn't do pilot programs. Why? Because their community doesn't lose as much as Parsippany would lose. Okay, but that mayor also said, maybe if I was the mayor of Parsippany, we would have to do pilots. Why? We're the largest suburban corporate center in the state of New Jersey. I have right here, these are vacant buildings in Parsippany. 11 Waterview, 15 Waterview Boulevard, 100 Kimball Drive, 200 Kimball Drive, 30 Landed Decks, 6 Sylvan, 169 Lackawanna Ave, which we hope to get off, and 30 Landed Decks. And then you have, I got these today, DSM over across the street here. They're probably going to be leaving as well, Wyndham Hotels. So what does the town do? Ignore it? No, because if we ignore it, you think your taxes are high now? They're going to be even higher, because you're going to take the burden. That's what the meeting was about. It wasn't about anything else. And I read all the letters to the editor, and everyone that wrote a letter to the editor could have, if they were there, I know you were there, you could have come up and spoke. And every mayor and myself would have answered you. And I will speak to you offline, and I will show you the things that we're facing in the future, and Parsippany's facing. So if we want to sit here and ignore the fact that we're losing ratables, we can do that. And if we want to sit here and ignore that we're not going to do pilots, we can do that too. But when the shift goes from 60% residential to 40% commercial to 70% residential and 30%, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to see, I think it's CoStar's the name of the real estate firm. You're not going to see recovery to 2040. And we have to do something, and we're being proactive and stuff like that. So, Mr. Philhauer, I would love to speak to you offline, because you seem like a really nice guy. And I know exactly where you live, across the street over there. You always wave when you see me sometimes, and I appreciate that.
Sir, we can't have any, if you want to talk to the mayor offline, you can. We can't have any back and forth, though. That's our rule.
We could talk right after the meeting.
Any other member of the public?
Richard Suarez, Parsippany. Couple of quick things. Mr. Klein, I still
Yes,
haven't received any
sorry about that.
information from your office. I know it's busy, graduations, et cetera, et cetera.
It's my fault.
So if you can get back to me before the next meeting, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We just had a tree go down, I think on Knoll Road, and it caused havoc for a while, from what I understand. Last summer, there were 8 or 10 trees cut down on North Beverwick between Route 46 and Vale Road because they were obviously a hazard. For some unknown reason, there's still another 8 or 10 trees on that same road that they hopscotched past. And they're in as bad or worse shape than the trees were last year. I just don't see what the rhyme or reason was to cut down some on a street and take care of that whole issue on that street and leave others. Maybe there's a reason, I don't know. The last thing I want to bring up, and I think we can all agree on this, and I know Route 46 is a state road, and we recently had another person killed at that intersection, and I know it's a state road. But couldn't the city contact somebody in NJDOT about improving the sight lines there? The sight lines, whether you're coming off of North Beverwick, making a right, or if you're continuing from east to west on Route 46, the sight lines are bad. There's also no bus stop where the people get off on the westbound lanes. Now, I have seen people in bad weather, because there is no bus stop, charge across the street there. Maybe if there was a bus stop, at least if we could get a bus stop, people could wait and not, run out into the street if the weather's bad. And I think it would be something that the town maybe could push the DOT on a little bit. And I also think that whole intersection there, going from east to west on both sides of North Beverwick there, it's just, there's no sight lines there that are adequate, for lack of a better word. And if anybody here could do something about that, so we don't have someone else get maimed or lose their life, I think it would be a worthwhile thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosales. We will reach out to the DOT with regards to that site. I know exactly what you're talking about. At the bus stop used to be where St. Peter's is, but I think that would be the site going westbound. And where the gentleman got hit was more towards Starbucks. I think the only thing that we might be able to do and ask them to do is, and I don't know if this is something the residents want, is to extend that fence. That's exactly, that's one of the biggest problems we have. And they would actually, if we make that recommendation, then we gotta live with it.
Mayor, can you just clarify the intersection, just for the record? The intersection that you stated, which intersection was that?
That's the corner of Baldwin Road and, what do you call it? With the bus stop going westbound on what do you call it, over, it's actually not too far from where the gentleman got hit.
All right. Sorry, that's...
You're talking further down North Beverwick?
Offline.
Yes, on November.
Oh, you're talking about
You're
North
talking about
Beverwick, okay.
by the...
Well, there's 2 sites, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
We'll look at both.
Any other member of the public?
Good evening, Bridget Cazzetto. I'd just like to touch on the mayor's roundtable. I was standing outside the roundtable that night, Mayor, and you did say that those people standing outside should talk to you face to face. And there was, they did leave a few minutes at the end of the meeting for questions, and I could have asked a question. But, I had to read the room, and I didn't want to come off aggressive, and everyone seemed to be in a good mood, so I decided to write a letter. And it was suggested, I guess I wasn't at the last council meeting, that I didn't write the letter. And that's okay, but, I write lots of letters to Parsippany. And I don't want to be a coward and hide behind a letter, because I don't put my name on anything I don't believe in. And that goes to a lot of things I've written to Parsippany Focus. And the thing, what I was upset about, the reason why I wrote the letter, excuse me, is because of when the pilots came up and when we heard that John Inglesino was part of, several of the dealings, representing several of the, it brought me back to 2017. And I've said this before at council meetings, that to me is what lost your election. This town has paid him millions of dollars. And it caused so much controversy, and I understand that you're going to say that it's just, you don't like the word corruption, I completely understand that, but to me, it's unethical. And I feel that, if Parsippany leadership is going to continue to somehow find a way to still be in bed with John Inglesino, then we're going to have to need new leadership. And that's how I feel. And it was hard tonight to speak because it's hard to follow those young police officers being sworn in. And I want to be respectful, but I did write the letter, and that's how I feel.
That's fine. Okay, now I'm going to respond. This is the same campaign in 2017 that the former mayor ran with regards to John Inglesino. And now Councilman Masel's doing the same thing. And the individual that spearheads it, I don't know if you know who he is, his name is Tom Jones. He's not here to defend himself, but I hope he does come to a meeting with regards to, the whole Inglesino thing. Just so you know, John's a land use attorney. Okay, that's what he does for a living. He's met with other council members. They all know he's a land use attorney. I've just recently met, I can't tell you about how many developers. And guess what? They're most likely going to look for a pilot. And they're most likely going to look, and if they don't get it, they're going to leave. It's not a John Inglesino thing for me. It's not, whatsoever. But I get during an election, you got to use something. And that's fine. Use it all you want, because you're going to get the truth from me. When someone writes a letter to the editor, I will respond to it, but I don't respond with letters to the editor. I respond in a way like when you guys came up, I'm going to talk to you offline. I'm going to be very candid, because that's just the way I am. I'm going to be very upfront, and I'm going to just give you the scenario, what's going to happen to Parsippany. If you think it's John Inglesino, then they really, I don't know what they did to you, but it's not. Parsippany's a lot bigger than any of us up here, and even John Inglesino. It's a lot bigger. I've been here since 1964. I've watched it grow. I watched the things that take place. I watched the politics in the past. And this is all political right now. I don't have time to be political. I have the time to fix this town. That's all I can do. And that's what I'm going to do. I mean, just recently, we're getting accused of a assassination plot. You gotta be joking me. What the heck is this town coming to? I mean, I'm gonna respond to that tonight. That is kind of ridiculous. So, and I'm not gonna sit down and let this happen and say, okay, well, I'm not gonna let this happen. But this is that's not Parsippany. That's not Parsippany at all. So, but you can disagree with me. I have no issue with that. And that's fine. Anybody here can disagree with me. When we say there's an assassination plot, that's a little off the rails. It's kind of ridiculous.
Ma'am, if I could just add, obviously people in here probably know that, I haven't always seen eye to eye with Mr. Inglesino myself. But you have to remember, these developers, he represents the developers. They're the ones that hire him. So we, as a town, cannot tell you, as a developer, you can't do business in Parsippany if you're going to have him as your attorney. That's just something we cannot do legally. So that's, they hire him, that's their attorney. We have no control over that whatsoever.
Well, I think what's important here, and the mayor is just clearly desperate to deflect from the fact that a very controversial figure in his previous administration was the sole beneficiary of all of the pilot deals while he was doing business with the town. So you can mention every single name, you can try and run away from the fact, but you are directly responsible for why people perceive what took place in December as so dirty and as so compromised. And you can run away from it, but the residents in this room are never going to forget it.
Okay, so I'm going to respond to that. This is the gentleman that went out with that same guy, the Capitol Grill, on several occasions. Knew these were going to be pilot. It's not false.
Absolutely not.
We need another lie detector. It is true. It is true.
Prove it. How dare you say that I went out?
I'll say what I want to say. It's just a fact.
Without proof.
You meet with him on Friday.
All right. That I went out several times at Capitol Grill.
Nobody's going to assassinate you.
Enough. You can have your turn after he talks. Good.
God, but he knew about these pilots from day one.
And I told
but
you
he
no.
needed an issue. That's what he needed. That's all it was. So on December 28th, the professionals couldn't be heard because he was too busy texting, come to my meeting, cancel it. Cancel the meeting. You made it an unconditional place to be at. And December 19th, you know when that meeting was canceled? Because of him. The meeting of December 19th, this could all have been cleared. Loretta Gragnani was scared because of the way some of the individuals were acting that were with him. That's unacceptable. You've lived in this town for 3 years, and you come here thinking you can just go throw anything that's going to stick to the wall. It's not going to stick to the wall with me. And this assassination plot? Are you kidding me? Holy cripe!
You can make all.
No, I'm going to read the report into the record.
You can go ahead and
then
do
you
that.
go out and you go to a.
You can make every single personal attack you want. Which is
Justin, the bottom line is this.
And I'm going to talk about the issues that people care about.
That's what we're doing tonight. We're talking about pilots. We're talking about this.
All right.
Council President.
And do me a favor, meet me tomorrow morning. Let's go to the prosecutor's office.
Go ahead.
People felt that entire process was compromised by figures who benefited directly from all of the deals. You had the commercial real estate broker who benefited from the sale of the property, which was the spokesperson at that PAL meeting. And then you had the attorney who was representing the developers and doing business with the town at the same time. And maybe there was a universe where we could have talked about how a pilot could have been beneficial for the town.
We did that.
No, you didn't. You started off on a rushed process where you didn't want to have the public
You just
to
need
have
an
the
issue, that's it.
information. So let's just be clear about the facts and what took place.
So let me ask you a question. Is your Secret Service here today? Because I'll say that for my closing statement.
Let's just bring it up now. Let's just go right now.
Well, let's
move on.
Now, I'm hearing a lot here about, those taking benefits from developers. Well, I'm just going to say this, two of us up here are adamantly against the developer for Glenmont, and we wanted to go after him. One person didn't. We're not friends with that developer. That person is. That's a fact. And if anyone up here says it's not, I'll deny it.
What are you insinuating?
I'm not insinuating anything.
You're saying something.
Well, I'm saying you wanted to continue litigating about this. There's nothing to litigate. We litigated enough with this developer. It's time for us to go after him. And
Let me
we
be
did.
clear. If any developer does something wrong by our residents in a court of law, we can prove that. I don't care who the developer is. I'm happy to support that. What I asked for was how much would it cost and how long would it take? If that outcome will produce a better result for our residents, I'll happily support it. So don't get it twisted.
No, I'm not getting it twisted. I know what I heard. And basically, we need to go after the developer.
So at this.
Okay, can we move on?
Yeah, so, any other member from the public, if you'd like to come up, please do so at this time. We have quite a few members, so we'll go ahead and point you guys out.
Tony Fasano, 41 Robin Hood Road, Morris Plains, New Jersey. I'd like to thank the mayor for having the Council of Mayors meeting.
Come closer to the mic, sir.
It was very informative to it. I also liked the last town meeting. Frank Neglia made a comment about corruption and going to the prosecutor's office, which you didn't want to do. So you're in agreement for First Amendment rights. I'm going to issue my First Amendment rights. I have a pack for you, sir. So I'm just face to face, and I keep it.
Can you just go into the, talk to the mic, please?
And most of you know, as council people, I keep it face to face, and when it's untrue and people are being ridiculed for it and trying to save the town. I'm a resident here 40 years.
That's not you, sorry. Last person.
Thank you, council, and we'll be working.
Okay, any other member of the public?
Nick Homiak, Lake Hiawatha. There's a good book out I suggest you all read it. It's called The Quiet Coup, the Neoliberalism and the Looting of America by Mashra Paradaran. And yes, there is a lot of things that are going on in the background. And my contention with the 30-year pilot deals was you were helping a man like John Inglesino, who ripped this town off before, enforce the same regressive tax system. Like you say, the developers are going to pull out, we're not going to have any money, and you're going to pay. Well, that's what America's all about now. The people who have the money don't pay, we pay. And I'm going to give you an example. This warehouse that they're trying to stick in 2030 Lanadex, right? They don't want a pilot deal because warehouses are the hottest thing going. And the things that this developer would have to do to squeeze that warehouse into an inappropriate location by a schoolhouse, by a residential neighborhood, the stormwater will probably affect the lake. It's a totally inappropriate location. But this developer is going to go full speed ahead. And he's going to get all the contractors lined up. And you know why? Because he's going to make a lot of money because it's a warehouse. So, yeah. What are you going like this for?
I'm gonna respond to you. That's
Why is he
hold
trying
on,
to
no
get a
back and
warehouse?
forth.
Why is he trying to get a warehouse?
There's no back and forth at this time between the public and the council.
No,
And the mayor.
Mr. Musell, there wasn't even you said a protest. That little thing out there with the signs, that was a mild demonstration, not a protest. And we even had the police there. Like, what was gonna happen? Like, we're not civilized? We're from Parsippany, we're with our councilmen. What are we gonna do? Cause a riot? Cause a riot? I remember when Inglesino, when he just started with his spiel about the affordable housing, he started off with the Newark riots. You know how it started? Mount Holly, a black neighborhood, free blacks living in New Jersey even since before the Civil War, and they jacked up their taxes and they said, you can't pay the taxes, you're out of here. And they won the lawsuit. And then everything got out of control. So, you know, you can't be best friends with your enemy unless your enemy, you're going to stick them in the back later. And that's what Inglesino did to this town with those 30-year pilot deals. And nobody knew anything. Blank space. Blank space. Yeah, nobody, there was no language for anybody to read. And you wondered why people were upset. And I don't care what you say. You talk to anybody who knows John Inglesino from Rockaway when he was the mayor. They don't have anything good to say about the guy. He's a developer's attorney. He's not in our best interest, and he proved it when he was here. And I can go on and on about it, but I won't. But thank you, Councilman Mosella, for being diligent and standing with the people against the corporation and their attorney. Thank you.
Okay, I need to respond to that, Council President, this time. Let me just make one thing clear, with Nick, with regards to the warehouse. First and foremost, that if the developer comes with an application for a warehouse, that's what the developer wants. Or you're gonna get the housing. You gotta decide, you want a warehouse? And so you know, the warehouse market is starting to decline, square footage wise at least, or do you want housing? That's the trade-off. Somebody owns that property, just like, Waterview. Waterview Plaza, when we went to try to get a grant, a $7.5 million grant, and you're shaking your head, but I was at the meeting with you. A $7.5 million grant to purchase the 26 acres. We had 2 protesters there, and Nick was one of them. And we didn't get the grant. Mendham got it, $10 million, we got nothing. So what happens on March 10, 2015, the Supreme Court came out with their affordable housing ruling. And that property went from a $7.5 million worth to $25 million. But we couldn't afford $25 million to purchase it. So now what you have over there is a Whole Foods, okay? At that time, though, it was farmland assessed. The property is farmland assessed, which means we were receiving, I think, like $1,400 a year in taxes. And the schools got 63% of that, and I think they got $1,200 a year. Now, the schools get $630,000 a year on that site. We get about $1 million in revenue, positive revenue. Why? We don't have to maintain it. We don't have to pick up their garbage. We don't do anything. And no school-age children. Okay, so when we try to do something right, Nick's at the county with us, and he's fighting against us getting a $7.5 million grant. I can't figure that out. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No yelling from the audience, Mr. Homiak. Thank you. You can speak to him offline. All right. With that being said, any other member from the public? Okay. Go right ahead, ma'am.
Wait, why don't you?
Ma'am, why don't you come up to the front? And anyone back here, I saw a hand back here. If you could just come up to the front, you can come up to the front and just sit over here.
Hey everybody, good evening. My name is Tia Lynn Guione, and I am here because I believe in transparency. It's important. As somebody that works up and down New Jersey, I want to ensure that residents, particularly Morris County, where I grew up and I have an affinity for and always will.
If you could just face us.
Absolutely, have that full transparency. So, Justin, you claim that you are against the developers, you're not Mr. Development. Is this not you, April 30th, at a large networking event specifically designed to network with developers? Is it not true, which was hosted, right, by Matt Gilson, who is an attorney? What kind of attorney? Land use and redevelopment. Did he not, and are you not making deals with him that if you were to be in a different position here in Parsippany, that he would be the land use attorney? So you claim, and were you not honored with Holly Shapizi, who is known for her overdevelopment in Bergen County by developers? Feel free to respond.
Well, my first question would be: where do you currently reside?
If you're done, if you could sit down.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, if you could say for the record where you're from, that would be great. No, I would like.
She doesn't have to stage.
Well, let me speak to your points. I am not anti-development. I am pro-free market, and there's a very big difference. That doesn't mean I believe taxpayers should subsidize developers, but I welcome every single business to come and invest in this town, because we also do have to recognize that we have serious issues here, and we need to bring in new ratables, but I don't believe it should be done on the backs of the taxpayers. And then in regards to your other stuff, it's absolute false hearsay, nonsense. So you can keep coming to every council meeting, but we all know you're not from Parsippany.
Okay, man.
Danielle Valenzano. I've been attending these meetings pretty regularly lately. I have a few things I would like to mention. When I was at the last meeting, Councilman Masella was confronted by Frank Neglia for accusing a board member of taking bribes. Very serious accusation. To my surprise, Masella did not deny it and instead seemed to justify it by telling us about a meeting that was held on December 28th, where he claims 900 people showed up and he didn't like the way it was handled. He was then asked to bring the name of the accused and a police officer to mayor's office the next day so they could be dealt with or apologize. To our disappointment, Masella turned and said, "That is not going to happen. This is outrageous. Outrageous behavior for a councilman." On the night of the meeting that the councilman loves to talk about and brag about, he called upon and incited an angry mob of people in an effort to exceed occupancy, hoping to have a legitimate and legal council vote shut down. A stunt like that could have caused a dangerous environment for the attendees. I know it caused quite a headache for the fire marshal, and this conduct is completely irresponsible and unbecoming of a sitting councilman. Since taking office, Mr. Masella has done nothing but obstruct, backdoor the very council he was elected to sit upon. As an elected official, his job requires him to make unbelievably tough decisions for the greater good of the entire community, not just the ones you agree with. But instead, he dodges his obligations by trying to derail meetings, thumbing everything down, and instead holds his own office hours at coffee houses, leaving the not popular tough decisions for the rest of the council to handle, so he looks like a hero to the public. As you all know, Masella's antics have earned him the nickname Fredo, which is the character in the movie The Godfather. Very recently, my husband was approached by police officers over a comment on Facebook where he compared the part of the movie to Masella's tanking political career. The police report said that Mr. Masella felt as though my husband's movie comment could have been an assassination plot against him. Yes, you heard that. An assassination plot by that cute little guy right over there. Mr. Masella was, as we found out, encouraged and egged on by a man named Dennis Letts. I have no idea what Letts' agenda is or how he is tied to Masella, but I believe we're going to find out soon enough. I find the councilman to be derelict in his duties, as he has neither successfully participated with the council to push forth any serious action, nor has he successfully stopped any action presented to the council, so essentially he has rendered himself lame duck. Once again, we the people are pissed off. I find myself saying that a bit. I came here tonight to ask that Mr. Masella step down or resign his position on the council, as he has failed to serve the community that elected him. He has also failed to support or substantiate his ridiculous accusations about the council member taking bribes and this supposed assassination plot. If he does not step down, I believe the council should pursue charges against him for the greater good of this community, because if someone in his position or a Mr. Letts can throw accusations around unchecked, you can just imagine what either one of them would do if they were handed any power at all.
Well, a lot of that is just outright silly. So to answer your last,
No, you have to sit down.
to answer your last charge, no, of course I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay and continue doing the work that the people of this town elected me to do, whether you like it or not.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Diman Sharma, Glenmont Commons resident. I moved in the community in 2016. Beautiful town, love it. I'm not sure of the timeline, but 2017 sometime, there was a inauguration for a vacant land. It was supposed to be a fallen officer's name. I do not remember. That was supposed to be inaugurated for. That was Mayor Barberio was present. with a billboard with beautiful park sign. Council members were there. There was a female council member who is retired, actually. My kid was there, actually, and we were, as a resident, promised that there'll be a beautiful park there, actually. Currently, as one of the residents mentioned, 5 feet tall grass actually requires attention. Somehow, while that event was happening, previous mayor Soriano was also running against Barbario, had passed his business card to me and says, whatever that guy's promising you, I'm going to go ahead and do. Unfortunately, Barbario didn't win the election, and Soriano came in, and the sign somehow had disappeared after 3 months. That beautiful full sign disappeared after 3 months, actually. And every day we drove by with a child in the back seat, Dad, is there a park coming over here? What's going on? And then as we approach Soriano every month, same thing. There might be some issue with the land, okay? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. His term ended, and during that period, actually, I'd mentioned to Soriano that I'll donate funds to have EPA testing done. I was told by Soriano that the township is financially capable to do so, and we'll come up with the results. Never happened. Look, I mean, the administration after administration changes, actually, okay? It's a small little park, basically. It's a corner land. Who owns? We understand. Come on, I mean, if it's a 5 feet grown grass, actually, if I have, as a resident, do not maintain my front property, the township will come in and give me a summons. It happens in another property in Belleville, which I rented out, in Jersey City, which I rented out. We get summonses. We pay for these things. Why can't these developers receive the summonses? That's number one, okay? Whether the park has not happened, let's come to the terms. Help the residents, okay? Safety is a number one issue. Absolute valid point that there's a wild animals coming out. Actually, kids are there. Help us doing that. That's point number one, actually. Point number two, at that, during Soriano's administration, several times I'd mentioned to him about the road safety issues as well, actually. And it's like a constant history repeating, okay? There's 6, 7 years of same issues over and over. For 9 months, we're kind of grouping together the same number of people actually from Glenmont Commons coming over and requesting these things. Now, after this long, we at least came to the term that we'll go ahead and sue the developer. What the results will be, we do not know. Okay? But we'll go ahead and sue. That's a good direction that we're taking. We need concrete results. If, as a responsible resident, I don't pay taxes, I'll be in trouble with the government. I don't maintain the property, I'll be in trouble with the government. If I have a broken water line, I get it fixed by the third-party vendor, and there's a 2 feet road that I need to fix that belongs to, per se, does not even belong to the city, but city will come in and give me a $500 summons every day until I get it fixed.
Sir, time's up.
I understand, but let's come to the terms. We're going to keep on coming here to represent, actually, but we need these responsible
Sir, I have to
people
stop you
come
now.
and change something for us.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, sir. Any other member of the public? Okay. Come on up, sir.
Can we get the answer for this question?
That's at the discretion of the mayor and council. If you'd like, if they don't answer, you can always approach them after the meeting.
Can you The question about the grass being 5 feet high, is there anything we can do about that, or?
I'll send them tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll send somebody there tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
So my name is Subaro JMP. I'm also a Glenmont lifelong resident. Thanks for your public service. I have a follow-up question to the legal issue that we talked about earlier. It has been 20 years. I'm glad that legal action is being initiated. But in the meantime, we all know that may take a few months or several years, right? Is there a plan to maintain these roads on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, to make sure that they're safe? Right now, I'm sure all of you know that they're not safe. We're paying taxes, as you heard several times from my friends. So is there a concrete action plan that you can come up with just to maintain roads, right, to be safe? And can we sit with you in the office and figure this thing out? I'm a former professional licensed engineer. This could be done in a heartbeat, right? So I'd like a response for this, please, from anyone.
You can meet with me in my office. Like I said, I will contact VJ because it's easier to contact one individual with regards to that. And we try to maintain and we plow them and all that kind of stuff to keep them as safe as we can. I get. But once the lawsuit goes in, we're gonna come up with a plan. So I'll stay in touch with BJ, and BJ, you can, go within your community and let us know, and then we will set up a meeting.
Any other member of the public have anything? Okay, seeing no one, can I entertain a motion to close the public meeting?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. A roll call. Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Okay, the floor is closed. Moving on to the consent agenda. Be it resolved, all items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council, will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call, Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving along to the approval of minutes, we have one, the agenda meeting of May 7th, 2024, and then the regular meeting of May 21st, 2024. Motion to approve the minutes, please.
Yes. Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Musella, seconded by Mr. Neglia. Roll call, Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to presentations and reports. Mayor?
Thank you, Clyde. With regards to the June 10th Mayor's Roundtable, which was a success, a lot of residents have reached out to me to do it again, and other town mayors that weren't there want to do it again, so we're going to pick another venue in Parsippany here. I expect to have a much bigger crowd, so we're going to get a bigger place to do it in. We got a lot of accolades on it. The information session was very good. And like Bridget said, some mayors from other towns took questions, and we all corroborated the next day, and every mayor was happy about it, happy that we could all work together, because we have an albatross on our hands, mostly when it comes to affordable housing and high density housing. Really, that's what it comes down to. So I'm gonna hopefully get the mayors in Bergen County involved and mayors all over the state, because we got to do something, because Parsippany is going to get hit the hardest now. And with regards to, like we said, we have 462 units to carry over right now. And we might have an additional 150 on top of that 463 if other projects that were already approved in 2000, I think it was 1920, don't get done. They'd be carried over to 2025. And if we don't have our plan ready by June 30th of 2025, we're going to be sued by the developers. They're going to go for builder's remedy. And when you have a builder's remedy lawsuit, I know a lot of people don't like to hear this because you tell them the truth and they get upset. A builder's remedy lawsuit is, once you lose it, you lose all your zoning, your planning powers and everything like that. And the judges in these affordable housing decisions make the decisions for your town. And that's a fact. I mean, that's a fact. That's not something to ignore. I forget, is it West Milford or Milburn? One of those, Milburn's going through it right now because they ignored their obligation for 30 years, and now the courts are kind of come down hard on them, and that's what we don't want in Parsippany. We want to be able to control what we can control. The Cossett property, I'll explain to you what that is. That's a tract of land off of Knoll Road. We finally finalized it, and now the township owns 5.4 acres of it. And prior to that, we purchased 11 acres, and this here, what do you call it, makes the whole tract of land open space. And one of the things we're looking to do is passive recreation, recreation for special needs and stuff like that. No ball fields or anything like that will be going on there. So I'm pretty happy about that. That took a long time to facilitate because, you know, we had a tough negotiator who wanted more than really the property was worth. So that being said, we did speak about Glenmont Common roads and with the action we're going to take. And the overgrown grass, we talked about that and the action we're going to take with that. Summer concerts, our first summer concert was this last weekend. It was really very good. This week we have, what's the name of them? The next band is Twilight Desirables. Disciples. I can't read my own handwriting. Disciples. I got to tell you, it's well attended because we have the farmers market at the same time now. We moved our concerts from Thursday to Friday, so people can enjoy the farmers market, have something to eat, and then enjoy the concert. I gave you also, if you're going away, call up Parsippany PD for the summer watch program. You notify them, they'll watch your house over the period of time that you're away. Right, Chief? So he's out there himself. I did get into about the vacant buildings that we have and more that are coming here in Parsippany. So I'm going to give an update with that probably every month because I spoke to the tax assessor today and we're looking at possibly a few more tax appeals. And I do believe what you say, that we're going to have tax appeals from Glenmont Commons as well. So we have to, you know, prepare for any type of tax appeals we have. Economic development, I'm thinking about creating the mayor's committee on economic development. And, you know, I'm going to have certain individuals on it, township planner, tax assessor, zoning official, a business owner, school board member, economic development chairman, all involved in it. And we take it to the next level because we have to do something here in Parsippany. And if we don't, you know, and I think, you know, when you put those individuals, the zoning officers and everybody in place, so that's that. And that's my report for tonight, Council. Oh, also, as you know, we have water restrictions from June 1st through September 30th for residential and for commercial as well, non-residential ones. So, you know, adhere to the rules. And then on July 4th is our summer concert. We have the Big Rock Show. I can tell you right now, they're a phenomenal band. They come from California. One of the members grew up here in Parsippany. I know him well. I used to play with him as we both are musicians. He's much better than me, but I might play at that concert with him because it's been a long time since we played. But it's time to enjoy ourselves and enjoy life, enjoy, you know, the residents, and that's what I plan on doing. And I think that's it, Council President.
Thank you.
Mayor, just a quick question. I know in economic development, you know, cannabis has discussed as a new revenue source, just trying to see where we're at with that.
Yeah, we're gonna have it in the first meeting in July. What happened was we had a meeting, and there was a lot of stuff left out of what I wanted to be discussed, and it wouldn't be ready for this meeting here, so we're gonna have it for the first meeting in July.
Township Council?
I just want to say I received a report from Mr. Crine regarding crime in town, and I have to say I was very impressed by it. Our crime is down. Our crime against persons is down 33%. Our crimes against property is down 26%, and our crimes against society is down 25% for a total of almost 28% drop in crime. And I think that's really good. That's putting us in the right direction. I'm going to assume, Chief, you can nod your head, having more police officers is a big help for that because that puts more police officers on the street and in presence. And as we all know, a police officer's presence is a deterrent against crime. And I just want to say thank you for your hard work, and thank you, Mayor, for having the insight to hire many more police officers. And I hope we get some more, because the more the better, in my opinion. I want to see this, go down as low as possible. I think you guys are doing a great job, and thank you.
Council President, do you have an update?
No.
Well, I first just wanted, on a positive note, I want to thank every single person that's reached out to Courtney and I, congratulated us on our news of, our baby that's due in December. Really touched by all the emails and text messages and calls that we received, and we can't wait to raise a, baby boy here. The other matter I just wanted to follow up on is, for those who are not aware, I was scheduled to speak to the Lake Hiawatha seniors at the upcoming August meeting at the senior center, but then the president of the club was told that I am not allowed in the building, and I did email the administration and our township attorney to try and do the right thing first, which was address this privately, but I didn't get any response, so I just wanted to see what the answer was.
Council President?
Sure.
There was a memo sent out by Mayor today that mirrored this memo that went out from former Mayor Soriano, talking about the roles and how council people can deal with the employees. Everything goes through the mayor's office or business administrator on mayor's behalf. So if you're looking to have a meeting at the community center, you would go to the mayor's office on that. That's to avoid kind of what we saw tonight, and it's like, we're starting to enter a silly season with politics and all of that stuff. Trying to keep the politics out of public service, and trying to shield employees as much as possible from that. So anything after hours is allowed to be political. Anything during business hours, we're trying to minimize the politics of it.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you. In our form of government, town hall employees, department heads answer up to you. No dispute about that. But this is a different case. This is a private organization that meets at public property regularly, and to their knowledge has never been told that they can't have a speaker come to their meeting. So why is it that myself, a resident, and a taxpayer can't speak to them on public property at a private meeting of residents with no employees there?
Bottom line is this, with regards to the community center, which is a public building. Your intentions aren't to be update, your intentions are to be political. I spoke to the lady, I don't even go in there, I'm not political. I discussed, all I discuss is I'll talk about the budget and all that kind of stuff. And that's what that building's for. Now, if you want to go meet them at a private setting, that's fine. You can do that.
Well, Mayor, you just said it. You can go and speak to them about non-political issues. I was invited to go with the
No,
understanding.
you weren't invited. They told me you invited yourself.
Well, I was invited to speak, and we were not there to talk politics. I was there to talk about the work that I've been doing. So,
Well, the last meeting you had there, that's not exactly what they told me. So I'm trying to avoid that.
But no, be that as it may.
Be that as it may, Justin.
Am I not allowed, are you saying that I don't have a constitutional right to go
Here we
meet with
constitutional
residents?
right. Here we go. You're the only one that has constitutional
property.
rights, but nobody else does. We're not allowed to have freedom of speech, but you are.
Well, Mayor,
You can scream and yell at people, but we can't.
But Mayor,
That's how it is. You have freedom of speech. You do have freedom of speech.
I can't speak to what letter you sent to Mike Lavery or the specifics of the situation, but it's a public building, and if there's any public employees in there that are working,
It's the Lake Hiawatha seniors. There's no.
It's a senior center. Our employees do work there.
Yeah, so are they township employees that are employing the senior center?
Yes.
They're not going to be in this meeting. This is meeting of residents that meets monthly, and I was invited to speak.
So I can't speak about something I don't know. We can talk after the meeting as I get more information. I can.
I just want the same rights everybody else has.
Of course.
Business Administrator?
Thank you, Council President. Thank you. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. First, congratulations to the 4 new officers coming on. I think they're going to do a great job under Chief's leadership. Police have been doing, thank you to Council Vice President Neglia for mentioning that the crime stats, police have been doing a very good job on a number of things, and it does directly have to do with a better presence in the street, which is more police officers out there. So we appreciate you recognizing that. On the agenda, there's a couple of items I wanted to point out. There's a number of resolutions that deal with upgrading our equipment to help serve you better. New garbage truck replacing one that was from 2010 that is done, completely done, and being held together by, tape and glue and all of that. So we're happy that you're considering that. The Hills of Troy Playground equipment, replacing the play structure there. We're replacing very old, outdated structure and updating it to better serve our residents. Thank you for doing that as well. And a couple of vehicles which are definitely needed. I wanted to point out something from our last meeting's agenda that I didn't have a chance to talk in detail about. The June 11th agenda had a resolution contracting with John Keefe Jr. Esquire for special counsel for PFAS litigation. We did that during an agenda meeting because it was there was a deadline that we needed to get on. The PFAS is something that has been talked about and you hear about in the media, and it's something that may not be as understandable to most people. From our purposes, or from my purposes, what I really concern myself with is the environmental issues. Yes, that's something that I deal with my family and all of that. It's the cost that our residents are going to be, that is going to be thrust upon our residents. We had our water superintendent come during the budget hearings and talk about the multi-millions of dollars that we will have to do to upgrade our systems in order to contend with the updated rules and regulations for this. So we are contracting with Keefe Law Firm, which is a known law firm in the state. They have represented other municipalities, many other municipalities, and have won multi-million-dollar lawsuits for Tom's River against big corporations that have, been derelict in their duties. So with this substantial litigation that's ongoing against PFAS manufacturers, 3M, DuPont, Demers, Chemours, Tyco, they have an expertise in this issue. So they should be able to help us with that. And that will generate a savings for residents, and they will be fighting for that. So I just wanted to point that out for you, that Mayor and Council are thinking of other things to help make sure that the burden isn't placed on you. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Just a quick question. Will this attorney give us some guidance to how to comply with PFAS and how we're going to have to deal with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have a report at this time. Moving along to ordinances, first reading. Ordinance 2024-11, ordinance of the Township Council of the Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 205, Highlands Regional Master Plan of the Code of the Township Parsippany-Troy Hills. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township Parsippany-Troy Hills held on June 25th, 2024, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on July 23rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. prevailing time or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with a notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second?
A motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella,
Yes.
Mr. Neglia,
Yes.
and Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to non-consent. R 2024-102, authorizing award of contract to PM Construction Corporation for Pudding Stone Heights Road Reconstruction Program Phase 2 and sanitary sewer improvements. Motion to approve resolution.
Make a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Musella, seconded by Mr. Neglia. Roll call. Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2024-104, authorizing change order number 1, final for the 2023 road resurfacing curb and sidewalk program project awarded to Riverview Paving Incorporated. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella?
Yes.
Mr. Neglia?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2024-105, authorizing the purchase of one 2024 ambulance with options through a national cooperative purchasing agreement from First Priority Emergency Vehicles. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2024-106, authorizing the purchase of one Chevy Tahoe utilizing New Jersey State contract. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
R 2024-107, authorizing the purchase and installation of playground equipment at the Hills of Troy Playground. Motion to approve the resolution.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2024-108, authorizing the purchase of 2024 Ford 250 vehicles with options. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
R 2024-109, authorizing the purchase of Leach rear load refuse body with options. Motion to approve the resolution.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr.
get
Neglia,
them all.
seconded by Mr.
You do the
Musella.
next one.
Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
R 2024-110, authorizing the purchase of Dennis Eagle ProView 4x4 chassis with options. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Motion
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Musella, seconded by Mr. Neglia. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to applications for license and permits. R 2024-101, approving a new limousine license for Royal Coachman Leasing and Lero's Point to Point Incorporated. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Make a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Musella, seconded by Mr. Neglia. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2024-103, approving fireworks display for Mount Tabor Children's Day celebration. Motion to
Motion.
approve.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
And Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Motion passes. Approval of payroll and bills list. CFO Leonard Ho recommends authorization for payment. Number 1, authorizes payment of the June 21st, 2024 regular miscellaneous payroll estimated at $1,650,000. And number 2, payment of bills from voucher list of June 15th, 2024 through June 17th, 2024, which is $3,248,379.94. Motion to approve the authorization for payment.
Make a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Musella, seconded by Mr. Neglia. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
May I please have a motion to adjourn the
Motion.
meeting?
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Neglia, seconded by Mr. Musella. Roll call. Mr. Musella.
Yes.
Mr. Neglia.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Good night.